Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Group Chat. It is the end of the week. It's time to give you the rundown. We got a lot to talk about. Anand's a golfer now.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
The next Tiger.
D's not impressed.
I'm not impressed.
Okay. All right.
What happened to that gymnast? Remember that meme? Not impressed?
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking
Michaela
about.
Maroney, right?
Michaela, yeah.
Yep. So that's D's face. D's giving the not impressed face right now about Anand golfing, but we're gonna talk about it.
That was when she met Obama, right? Was that what
Was
the
it?
face from?
Or
Obama did the face?
I thought it was at the Olympics. I think
It was
Obama
at
did.
the Olympics.
Yeah, it was at the Olympics. And I think
How
Obama
dare
did
you
the
do
face
that
when
around Obama.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk about business. We're talking about retail sales. We have a new term. So if you're an employee, you might already know this term because you might be currently doing it. But if you're running or managing a business, you might want to be on the lookout for this one because there's a new trend, a new hot term going on with people with jobs. And I don't know. Not everyone's going to be too happy about this.
No.
And then we're going to end with some LeBron James talk, and we have some big meme stock news. So a lot to talk about today.
Indeed.
Everybody ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, Group Chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
I just want to congratulate, I don't know if you guys saw the newest member of the Live Tour, Anand Murthy.
Offers are coming in hot. PGA Live. I don't know what to do.
Did we post your swing?
We should absolutely post my swing.
That
Okay,
should
we
get
got a
200 views.
Should I stand? I'm basically deciding, am I standing with Tiger Woods and joining the PGA or Phil Mickelson and doing Live?
I understand. It's a tough choice. A lot of people are having to make it, and you're going to have to make it.
Yeah.
So Anand, I guess Anand, you swung a club 20 years ago, if we're being honest.
For being
So it
honest,
wasn't-
20 years ago, yes.
Okay, but you didn't play golf, and you went on a fancy schmancy golf trip with your friends, and so while they were golfing, because you weren't going to participate in that, so
Right.
you took lessons.
Yep.
And I kept bugging you. I was like, send me a video, because you're an athletic dude. You play tennis. I'm guessing you're fine. I'm guessing you're better than most people are the first time they pick up a club. And you were, shy. You were like, nah, I'm not ready for that. Give me some time. I know you have a real thing about you don't like being bad at stuff.
I hate sucking at things.
I understand. And, but sure enough, something must have clicked because all of a sudden the videos just came rolling in. You're like, here's the 3-wood, here's the 5-iron, and you're just fucking bombing off the tee box.
I was expecting, because I have been on a range and I have been on a course, but it was like literally in my teens. And I have vivid memories of just being so frustrated, hitting the ball on the ground, not even getting in the air. And I was just like, this is going to suck. Yeah. So that's why I was so nervous about even getting a video. So I take this lesson and, I tell the pro, I'm like, hey, I really haven't done this like a really long time. Can you tell me what to do? And he's like, no, just swing. And then we'll start with the pointers. And, being transparent, my college roommate played golf at USC. So he's obviously really, really damn good. Yeah. And he taught me how to swing. And he taught me just the very, very basics. We lived together for 4 years.
Yeah.
And I was just like, all right, let me just channel that lesson that I got from him back in college. Yeah. And I was able to get the ball in there right away. I couldn't believe it.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
I really couldn't believe it.
Then did the lesson help, or was it too early to even really help?
No, the lesson helped tremendously because actually Eric, who was on the golf trip, he's a really good golfer. And he's like, I've never taken a lesson. Tell me what the pro tells you. He's like, I literally never taken a lesson.
Wow.
Yeah.
And there's two things that really stand out. Now that you're a golfer, I'm sure you'd appreciate. One, don't try to swing strong. Just be totally smooth, and hitting the ball at the correct point with the club is way more important than trying to swing as hard as you can because the ball will go farther. And then balance. That beginners always put too much weight on the back leg, but you need to even it out with the front leg. I did those two things. And then my tennis, always keep your eye on the ball. Because in tennis, if you keep your eye on the ball, you can hit a ball very clean. Yeah. Did those three things, and I was able to hit a ball.
So you didn't actually play?
No, I was at the range.
Oh.
You seem like a PGA guy. I mean, sorry, a live guy. You seem like a live guy.
D's not very supportive of my golf skills. He was
No.
questioning everything when I sent him the videos.
Yeah, of course.
I
I
don't
think
think-
everything
He
is
was trying to
fake.
tear me down. He thought it was a
I think
deep fake.
this might go all the way back to why you don't like sucking at things, because you were probably like 2 years old and D was like, "Fuck you, like your Legos suck." You probably built this complex over a long
Yeah,
period.
I'd probably have to go to therapy for that.
Yeah.
Therapy and golf, expensive hobbies.
So is there a chance? Yeah, I mean, welcome to Los Angeles. I feel like if you're successful in Los Angeles, therapy and golf are like they just come with the program.
Yeah.
What do you think? There's a chance you pick up? Like, are we going to see you out on the?
No, they're not near term. With 2 kids, and then like if you're not grandfathered in with golf before you're married and have kids, it's a really stupid thing to bring up. So you know,
late.
you have to. I'm not gonna try to spend my weekends away from kids golfing. So
Yeah, it's hard too because it's like a minimum 4 hours.
yeah,
Yeah, at least.
You know, you can't just shoot over and play a quick round with the guys.
yeah. That's like if you ever want to play golf, I would suggest a single guy. Keep that in mind whenever you get into a serious relationship. Make sure it was part of
immediately start.
Yeah, literally.
Like the
If you
first
think you
after
found
your
the
first
one-
date, like, what are you doing Saturday? I got golf.
Yeah.
Like I can't. I
If you
can't.
literally just go to a golf course and sit and drink at the bar.
Just-
If
yeah.
you think you found the one,
Yes.
the second weekend,
The second
you
weekend.
fucking go to a country
You
club and
get
sit
a
at the
polo
bar.
shirt, tuck in your fucking shirt, and just
Trust
walk
us.
out the house.
Yeah, this
Doesn't
will come
matter
in
where
handy.
you actually go. And no one will question if you don't have clubs. You just have to leave the house
Nothing.
in
Yep,
a polo
come back
shirt
4
and
and
a
a half
hat.
hours later, and you're
And
totally
just
fine.
be dark. Like
Yep.
be tan.
Yeah, just put a bunch of sunscreen on before you leave and just go suntan
You're right.
if you
Really,
need
just put
to.
on a baseball hat, a polo, and fucking lay in the sun for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Come home and be like, "Oh, babe, it was a crazy one.
I shot par.
Oh, parred it." Yeah.
I would pick it up if my kids get old enough and want to play. Then I'd be like, okay, there's a good reason to really do it.
But
But I
just
will
think
say, I was telling you, Drama, I think if I just went to the range a handful of times, I would be competent enough to do a scramble best ball. Scramble best ball is basically you and your partner, and whose ever ball goes.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter if your
you
ball
can
ever
hit,
good.
yeah, if you hit one shot, you're a hero.
you have one good shot of the day, and it's like on end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. Look, I'm just going to keep repeating it until the cows come home. The only thing I think you should do is put a little net and a little piece of AstroTurf in your backyard, and just when you're bored and walking around, just hit balls. Because then, by the time you might actually get out there, like we're talking like 10, 12 years, you at least like you have that skill. You're not starting from where you are today, because then you're going to be miserable and you're going to hate it.
And I drove around the cart following my friends while they were playing. Like, man, golf's a frustrating sport, and these guys are good.
Yeah.
And my brother-in-law actually made a good point. He's like, if I go out and surf 10 out of 10 times, I come home happy. Like, oh, that was fun.
Oh yeah.
He's like, there's so many times I've played golf where I'm just pissed and disappointed. He's
Yeah.
like, it's the only thing people actively choose to do that can make you sad.
It's true. It's true. I feel like most times I go golf, I come home pissed.
That's funny.
I think it's just you have like a couple of those moments where you're like, I love golf. I'm playing forever.
Yeah. It seems like there's only, there's very little upside, a lot of downside.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
golf's
yeah,
stupid,
yeah.
so let's keep it moving.
Okay, there's rain on the parade. All right. The next thing I just want to touch on real quickly is D, we were both bummed because we missed, there's no better topic for a group chat than Adam Neumann raising $350 million.
Yeah.
That's like dead on for what we love to talk about. I know you talked about it with Zach while we were out, but just curious, real quick, Anand, did you have anything? Did you have any take that was
real quickly. It's just, I saw everyone dunking on Andreessen Horowitz.
We didn't dunk on
Not
them.
you,
Yeah.
everyone on Twitter.
Yeah.
Whose side were
And-
you guys on real quick? Were you on Newman's side?
Yeah, fine. Give them more money. Andreessen, they could do whatever they want. I mean,
It's not even do whatever they want.
Andreessen,
The comparisons were just so stupid to Elizabeth Holmes. He had
yeah.
investors willingly give him billions of dollars in secondary. That's the investor's fault, not his fault. What founder wouldn't take $1 billion or $2 billion of cash off the table if someone's willing to give them that and have very little
it's the
dilution?
difference of like beating someone up and then being compared to a murderer.
I don't even think it's that. I just think people that dunked on Andreessen don't understand venture.
I don't mean that.
Like-
I mean comparing Adam Newman to Elizabeth Holmes. I think Elizabeth Holmes is straight up
Well,
fraudulent.
he-
I think Adam
one
Newman is
committed
like
fraud.
and one just ran a bad business.
Yeah,
I think Adam
by the
Newman
way,
was like fraud adjacent. Like he probably dabbled in a little fraud here and there.
yeah, I think when it went to court, that's what Zach was saying, that in court they didn't prove that. That wasn't part of what they were able to get on him.
You could say there were unethical things he did for sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
But
fair.
nothing
But
illegal.
SoftBank is complicit. JP Morgan's complicit. Everyone's complicit
Yeah,
in
everyone,
it.
Yeah.
That's,
So they're okay with it.
yeah, and I think we have no idea the terms. Like
That's what. Yeah, that's
how
what I
much
said.
real estate is collateralized against the 350 million.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, what's
it's probably
the
so much
board
downside
situation?
protection. Yeah.
Who has control? I just want to know what mechanisms are in place in case Adam Newman's again.
And let's be clear, Andreessen Horowitz is probably the most media savvy venture firm. Actually, I think they are. Like they knew what they were getting into.
Yeah.
They knew as soon as Mark posted that blog,
Yeah.
it'll just create like it's like an Elon move, right?
Yeah.
Like when Elon says something crazy, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
So D and Anand, you guys have the money. You have the Andreessen Horowitz budget. Do you bet on Adam Newman again?
Yeah. If you could structure the deal where you get minimum downside protection, why not? He's clearly a charming guy, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
He must be.
I mean, that's what we're saying. The TV show did so much good for him. I think people thought they were going to tear him down. He came off as an endearing character.
Yeah, and Andreessen takes big swings.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
they were very early in crypto while everyone told them they were idiots and they were right.
Yeah.
But that's
That's
their biggest swing, right? Isn't that their
This is the biggest swing. The biggest swing ever is in real estate.
Yeah.
Not
They also,
technology.
but it's also, let's be also clear, it's their biggest swing because they also have the biggest fund that they've ever raised. So
Sure, but their first bet is in real estate. A technology firm believes that there's clear value.
yeah, I mean, the story we told on Open Door, whether it's going to be a successful business or not, but real estate is such a massive asset class. Someone's going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Is it Adam Newman or not? Like
Yeah.
it's trillions of dollars on the table.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What about Flow Carbon?
Well, that's gone.
I mean, remember this guy? He just raised like 10 million
Yeah.
bucks like a year ago.
Now we're all flow real estate.
Okay, so no more carbon.
Yeah.
That was like a blockchain based carbon emissions. I mean, that was a totally different concept.
That was
I mean,
climate.
Well,
Climate and real estate, he knows what
he just moves on. He moves hot.
Yeah, he knows the
moves hot.
buzzwords.
What's great is that like I've read Mark Andreessen's posts. I've read whatever on the Flow website. It's really unclear what they're building yet. So very curious to see what actually is it. Is it just a REIT? And at the end of the day, Andreessen clips a coupon.
Yeah,
Maybe-
think about like Cloud Kitchens, which is Travis Kalanick's, was his next act after Uber. There's data on there. It's not public, but Andreessen knows what's going on. That's a real estate play.
Yeah.
So there must be data that they've seen. You can attack real estate in a creative way, and this is residential. Cloud Kitchen's just doing it in industrial.
Jason Calacanis had a really good. I guess this was just a guess, though. His guess was like essentially you're gonna like almost like what We Live was gonna be. Like you're gonna make these buildings that are kind of uniform. Like you know what to expect. They're fun. There's a vibe. Yeah. You can go like live in Austin for 6 months. You can then go live in New Jersey for 6 months. You can then go and you're sort of tied into the system. I mean, I have no idea if he just made all that up, but that seems really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it'll work for a subsect of people.
Yeah,
like
most Adam Newman.
Yeah, and I think there's going to be a lot of people that would be curious to live that life. But like at the end of the day, like as much as disruptions happen in the world, so much has not changed in all facets of life.
Yeah. Like a suburb in America is still a suburb in America.
They go
30 years later.
And they still go to the brick and mortar stores.
Yeah.
They're not utilizing all the things that have been developed. So,
I mean, if you think about where we grew up, so that was 30 years ago, right? Whatever. And it looks the same.
Nothing's changed.
Nothing's
By the way,
like
the shopping center is slammed with people.
Think about where we grew up, where both of us grew up. I mean, really, the same thing applies. The only thing that's changed really is the iPhone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It's the same life, but plus iPhone.
And it's the same restaurant, but maybe a different name because maybe one went out of business and there's a new one. They're exact same.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Okay. Well, So your take is you don't think it's a
My
bad
take
deal?
is that it's not a take. It's like
Yeah,
an
okay,
investor
fair.
backing a founder and move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would say the biggest challenge for people to comprehend that aren't in the industry is that a lot of other people who probably are deserving aren't getting that opportunity. That is the biggest take.
Of course.
That's
I also think that it's remember we were kind of making fun of the situation when he got like the $1 billion severance, and a lot of shareholders and early employees and those people got screwed on WeWork.
yeah.
I think that's the look, I don't know. I think there's just a lot of that like sentiment at the moment of like,
Yeah.
oh, there's the guy getting rich, the billionaire becoming more of a billionaire while everyone else gets screwed. I think it fits nicely into that narrative if that's the narrative that you like.
Yeah.
Yep.
Agreed.
Okay. You want to talk about some news,
Yeah.
guys? Let's talk about retail. What is going on? So, we're starting to get all these numbers and stuff. Obviously, we're getting earnings. Walmart did well in their earnings, but what's going on in general in retail? I mean, I would expect a dive.
It's flat. Like retail spending is flat. Obviously, a lot of that is because of inflation. But I think it was flat because we've had 9 weeks of gas prices falling. So
Was it flat to last month or flat to LY?
fell to last month.
Got it.
And I think what happens is, so these retail sales excludes auto and gasoline. So if gas had continued to increase, then obviously this number would look a lot different. But it just shows that like the moment consumers have a nickel in their pocket, they spend it.
The American consumer loves to consume.
It's not.
They
It's
sure
instant.
do,
It's
yeah.
instant. Like you see it. Like I spoke to some retailers last week, and they were like, "There's a little shopping this week. Like there was some action," and I think it's just so dynamic and inversely related when it comes to like something like inflated gas prices that come down
Yeah.
instantly. People like I would love to see. Other industries. I shared a link in one of our chats about OpenTable tracking restaurant reservations in the biggest cities versus, was it last year?
Yes, year over year.
Year over year. And in some areas like in LA, like Beverly Hills and I forgot what other, big parts of LA, it was down like 40%.
Yeah, Beverly Hills, August 1 reservations, 2022 versus 2021, down 42% on OpenTable.
Wow.
Boston, 23%. Brooklyn, 44%. This is all down. Chicago, down 36%. Fort Lauderdale's up 22%. That's probably just everyone moved to people who came to Florida. Las Vegas is up. That's also like, you can tell why the ones that are up and everything else is actually down.
And huge down.
Yeah, and I saw some comments in response to whoever posted this graphic, like, "Oh, Resi and Talk are taking over." This is not that. Well,
I make reservations all day. I never use Resi.
Resi and Talk is like literally on the fringes of the restaurant world. Open tables are a reflection of the masses. So eating out has clearly gone down.
Yeah,
You think that, like Beverly Hills,
it's consistent with my story that I told you guys 3 weeks ago. I'm on the ground. How I was able to walk into El Compadre and grab a Resi.
You were early. You're like that's like the strip club scene in The Big Short.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's tourism? Like I wouldn't imagine Beverly Hills residents getting affected by inflation and gas, right? Or is it?
I mean, Beverly Hills is like not just locals. It's like tourism. It's it's a destination place to go eat, right? Like people from all over the city are eating at Beverly Hills.
I think that's the main point.
Yeah.
If you go to like Mastro's, what do you think? 10% of the tables are Beverly Hills residents.
Yeah,
90%
it's pretty
are
crazy
not.
that like armed robberies at outdoor tables couldn't slow it, but gas prices surely did. I mean, you might risk getting a gun to your head at your table. I really want to try that pasta.
Yeah, and I think I mean it just shows that like how inflation and is impacting so many parts of the economy, and and how immediate it has been, the knee jerk reaction to it. So I'm very curious to see. Like, I see that egg prices finally fell a little.
Yeah.
Nice.
I just got an article sent to me from Logan, who works with us. Chicken wings are now substantially cheaper at wholesale than before the pandemic.
So, I mean, it also makes sense because I think real estate was the only insulated product in the last 7 months. If you didn't derive most of your income from real estate, you have less money than you did 7 months ago. It's the only sector.
Yeah, now you're getting creamed if you had all that real estate.
Yeah, so sales of previously owned homes fell nearly 6% in July compared with June. Sales dropped about 20% from the same month a year ago. It's unclear, like, from a pricing standpoint, if there's truly any changes. In fact, the median price of a home sold in July was 10% higher year over year.
Yeah.
Because there's no supply.
Right. They stopped building because it's too expensive to build, whether it's inflation or whatnot. And there's just not enough homes.
Yeah.
And, it's really tough for, I think, at least residential real estate to have a massive correction because there isn't enough.
Well, and the people aren't desperate, right? They'll happily not sell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think it could be massive. I think it was just such like pandemonium the last 6 months to a year. Like where we were seeing all those videos about you couldn't even get like a reservation to go look at a house on sale. It was like make an appointment or make an offer or not. I feel like it just got so crazy that can come down, but it does seem to me like how low can it really go?
I mean, just anecdotally, you kind of see on Twitter that the days of like a house going and having 20 offers within 24 hours, like you were saying, I don't think that's happening, but it'll still sell, but it's probably a little slower.
Yeah.
The sight unseen purchases, I don't believe are happening at the same. I mean, they're definitely not happening at the same pace.
Where are we?
But the rental market is still on fire.
Rental market's like soaring.
Yeah.
Because if you can't buy, you have to rent.
There is in my neighborhood, to get the comparable house I have, I would technically have to pay double my rent.
That makes sense.
And I signed my lease in 2019.
You're saying the mortgage would be double?
No, my rent. If I were like my rent at my home, it would be right now. If I were to get a comparable, I'd be paying close to double. If I were to buy my house, my mortgage would be, after insurance and this and that, would be nearly double also.
Wow.
So I got lucky in a weird arbitrage, like of the timing, but like it's insane.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Well, I mean, what do you guys think? The last, we've had a hot week of the stock market. I mean, is it all up from here or what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think
that's the response.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, the only thing I've learned in the last 7 months is no one knows anything when it comes to the market. So all the geniuses were proven to be idiots in the last 7 months. So I don't know.
Okay.
I think it's going to be really hard to predict what the hell happens.
Because you could think of 7 macro factors that could cause a boost. You can think of 7 macro factors that can cause a decline.
Yeah.
And anyone that tells
China,
you that,
it looks like China's on the verge of collapse any day.
So like if China implodes, market corrects huge. War ends, market goes up.
China invades
Oil drops to
Taiwan.
$50 a barrel. Market pops.
if Putin cuts off gas to Europe, market crashes.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's literally like 10 levers you could pull one way or the other that could make a massive impact.
The Fed has a surprise interest rate, market tanks. Fed signals are going to cut rates in 2023, market rips. No one fucking knows.
How fun is this? Okay. Here's a new one. What about, a lot of times on this pod, I think we we're getting a little older here. I hate to say it, especially you two. And
I think we all get old at the same
Pace.
clip.
I think you guys are going a little faster. I think kids age you double. Anyway, one thing that we are pretty good at though is like we're tuned in. Like we know what's going on. We know the slang. We know the new words and trends. I'd say we're pretty good at that. However, one has snuck up on our list here that I didn't realize was a new trend.
Yeah.
And that is quiet quitting. So for any of our listeners, just take a moment, test how in the know you are. Do you know what quiet quitting is? Because apparently it's a huge trend. We talked a while ago, like during the lockdowns, we talked about people that were like, oh, they're hustling. They're working 3 jobs at once, and the one job doesn't know about the other 2 jobs, and they're picking up all this extra money plus stimmy and all this shit and what you can do with work from home. And these people are hustling. But what's quiet quitting? That seems different.
Quiet quitting is basically you go to work, you do the bare minimum, you're fucking checked out.
I think isn't that 90% of the workforce is quiet
So
quitting?
that's just called having a job.
That's just being an American. I wake up and I quit.
These TikTok Gen Zers think they came up with quiet quitting. It's
They
been
came-
going on for hundreds of
I've
years.
seen quiet quitting. We've seen employees watching full movies at their
Yeah,
desk.
that was 10 years ago.
Yeah, come on.
People
This
were
is
watching
child's play.
Netflix on the job. Like, give me a break.
But I think it's more the sentiment is that I'm not gonna let my work dictate my life. If I'm gonna go to work and I'm just gonna stay under the radar, collect my check, and I'm gonna focus on my family, my life, my this. Here's the problem I have.
There's 2 extremes, right? You have one extreme of TikTok that's hustle porn.
Yeah.
Like, wake up at 4 a.m, finish the gym by
Do
5,
200 push-ups.
read 3 books by 7 a.m, then like go
Yeah.
work.
Because what's happening is even those people are probably hustle porning in their personal life, or they think they are, but their actual income comes from the job that they quiet quit like a year ago.
Yeah, that's the irony, right?
Yeah, that's how they pay that gym membership. I just think now there's like a new pride in it. It's not that people have been doing this for a long time. I think now it's like it's kind of cool.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, you go to work and do nothing, huh? That's dope.
Yeah, like, oh, you're a quiet quitter.
That's
I'm dead
dope,
silent.
Man. You
I'm
fucking
so
crushed it
quiet.
today. What'd you do today? Nothing.
Hey, if you're quiet
Killer.
quitting, you better not have opinion on Adam Neumann getting $350 million. The quiet quitters are the ones that don't understand why Adam Neumann got funded.
I think they justify their quiet quitting by people like Adam Neumann, though. I think, in my opinion, it's part of this overall sentiment of like, it's not fair. The billionaires get richer, the this, the that. It's not fair for people like us, so fuck them. Like, fuck the people who own this business. They're not fair anyway. I'm quiet quitting.
Right. You're right.
You know what I mean? Like, I think they're like, yeah, Adam Newman's exactly the reason. And they're like watching We Crashed on their laptop while they're supposed to be working.
Here's the problem is that, like, I'm actually okay if people take this approach and say, look, I want my work to be my work. And then when I go home, I want to use my mental space to be healthier, be present with my family, whatever. I'm completely okay with that notion. My problem is that's not the reality. Instead, it's just, I'm going to pop open a couple of beers and watch a bunch of TV. So that if that's what you're actually doing with the free mind space and time, then it's a complete waste. If you are like, I'm going to go to work 9 to 5 and that's where my work ends, but I'm going to give it my all, and I don't want my work to come back to home. And there's plenty of jobs that allow you to do that.
Yeah.
And then at home, I want to be the most productive person, and I want to work out, or I want to, spend time with family. But that's not, the statistics don't share that. The statistics say we are the most obese we've ever been. We're watching more content than we've ever watched. We're, unhealthier than we've ever been. So it's like, so you basically do nothing at work and then you just become obese at night. Like, is that the combo? Like,
because you're not even talking about, you're talking about working 9 to 5 and actually putting in the work and then checking out.
So that is a part of quiet quitting too, is that, like, I don't want my work to go home to me. I want to create this, like, a clear delineation that work is work and home is home. And I don't have that luxury. And I think a lot of people don't. But if you're fortunate to do that, but as long as the time you are free, you're actually making use of it in a productive way, then great. That's good. That's more power to you. But I don't think that's what's happening.
No, and I think it's being glorified. That's the sad part.
Yeah.
So in an era where I know everyone has different starting lines and everyone has different circumstances, and some people get ahead quicker because of that. But we're in an era where knowledge is literally available for free for anyone in the world. So if you made it to adult to even have a job, you can empower yourself so much to get to advance. Especially when everyone's quiet quitting, you can win. Yeah. Like this is like the best time ever to not quiet quit and get smarter, learn, and everyone else is lazy and you can advance in your career.
So easily. So easily.
It does seem like so easy. Because, I'll say like, for people like us that are like running these businesses, when someone really goes that extra mile and like steps up and is proactive and shows up, and it stands out so much.
Oh my God.
Like it's I feel like if you're a young person, you can progress so much in your career. I mean, we've talked about it. We've talked about propinquity. We've kind of joked even about it, but like literally just by showing up and asking what needs to be done and paying attention and going the extra mile, it feels so rare that it just seems like you can come into an industry with relatively low experience, but have all of those skills dialed, and you could make so much progress in a few years.
I mean, I don't want to make his head a little big. Jordan's a perfect example. He just showed up. When there was nothing to do, he was showing up.
Yeah.
And now he's, he works for a venture-backed startup.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big deal. Yeah.
He is really smart. I'm not going to say he only did was show up, but he came.
Sure.
When no one else was coming.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that the weird thing to me that I think is dangerous, because I do think like, of course, like people should feel valued and they should feel, like there's some fairness in the world and stuff like that. But like the part that I just honestly have a question about is where does it lead? Like if it's just all about like me and not work or not my job or not making progress there, then like, where does it lead you to? Like, I just don't know how. At the same time, everyone wants like this lifestyle that comes with financial freedom. Like what they want, the lifestyle that they sort of feel like they deserve usually comes after decades of working your ass off if you're lucky.
So
I'm just confused about like where does this lead?
Yeah, so I'll give you the two most popular articles right now in the Wall Street Journal for the last 2 days. Mm-hmm. The first one is the quiet quitting one. Mm-hmm. The second one is Americans are breaking up with their work friends. Okay. And saying that because people are remote and people are switching jobs, they don't and they don't have that relationship with their work friends. And the first quote is, I don't want to put in 8, 9, 10 hours and go out and have a beer and talk about work for another 4 hours. There's a 53-year-old database administrator in Cupertino, California, in the Wall Street Journal. And I think that's the wrong person to ask. Like a 53-year-old probably has a family, probably has kids, and probably wants to get home. Probably stressed out, like wants to go home. So like I understand that person. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I mean, think about it. Like most people that have worked for us over the years, all of their friends came from work. A good chunk of their friends came from work because I still see them out in public. Yeah. I'm like, you still hang out with these people? Mm-hmm. And they're all work-related friends. And so if you are remote or you're choosing not to go into the office or you're not engaged in your company's camaraderie, you're missing out on like potentially like lifelong friendships too.
Yeah, no, totally. I totally agree. And obviously work friends are more like-minded than like your high school friend that chose not to work or whatever, was lazy and just smokes weed all day. Yeah. Like
at least you have something in common.
Yeah. Like I was thinking about this the other day because the cost of living is only going to go up from here till the end of time, right? Like house prices are going to be more expensive than they ever have. And they're already like effectively unaffordable in most major cities. Are we going to turn into like countries like India? So India, for example, the dynamic is the vast majority of people live in the house with their parents and then start raising their family in the same place where their parents are. And a lot of it is cost driven. It's too damn expensive
to leave.
Yeah. And I feel like there's going to be a big culture shift because entry level starting job wages aren't going to go up at the same pace.
Yeah.
They haven't in the last
Yeah.
25 years, and they've only gotten a bigger gap. So are people just going to just be like, I'm just going to stay home forever? And I know culturally, most parents are like, 18, get the hell out.
Yeah.
Like that's going to have to change, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the part
Yeah.
that just doesn't make, I don't see how that works out. And I remember saying that about the Great Resignation and about all these crypto traders. And that has kind of like, it kind of makes sense now, right? Like you see that like evening out, but like, I get it. Everyone wants to like leave work behind and not think about this and not have to do your job and not have to, but like, I just don't understand how that leads to, like, how do you afford that lifestyle? That's a really luxury lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's actually funny. We said OpenTable reservations down 44% in Beverly Hills, and it checks out because of all the things we've talked about. But then there's a restaurant that I've gotten friendly with one of the owners, and I was like, "What's changed, like crowd wise?" And you know what the first thing he said? He goes, "The crypto bros are gone."
Yeah.
And this is like a 55-year-old, 56-year-old guy that could identify who a crypto bro was.
They're very identifiable.
I'm sure if you work at like a restaurant, you're like, oh, the fucking crypto bros. Like, I bet you.
Yeah,
it's
they
like
got the Rolex, the Urus.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They pull up in the Urus, and then they, probably aren't dressed. They're probably dressed like a
Crypto
streetwear
bros.
crypto bro.
I'd love
Yeah.
to see Urus sales for the last 3 years.
I
We got to be falling off. a
Ollie
cliff.
from Car Trackers gave us the news. Urus, people are dumping Uruses left and right.
Yeah, I feel like you could pick up a Urus. Oh, we talked about that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like if you saw a graph of Urus sales, they got to be plummeting.
Yeah.
All the news going on. I mean, speaking kind of a little bit of like, we're talking about like crypto and which kind of is adjacent to meme stocks and all that. There's some meme stock news going on that's just blockbuster. That also it feels like we joked about the Kanye news and that stuff feeling like it was from 2020. This kind of feels like that too. Bed Bath and Beyond just exploded. Took off to the moon, as the kids would say. And now today there's this story about a 20-year-old USC student who made $110 million from his Bed Bath and Beyond trade. Now, I didn't read the full article. I did see that somehow this guy started with a seed round of 25 million.
So I'm calling bullshit on this story for many reasons, because no one's giving unless your parents are billionaires, no one's giving a 20-year-old.
Who said they're not? You know how many billionaire kids go to USC? It's
I
probably
know,
the
but
hottest
even
billionaire
the
school.
Billionaires aren't giving their little Johnny sophomore, here's $20 million. They make him $100,000.
Yeah, what is this? Because also,
So he wrote a memo to Bed Bath & Beyond saying that he was taking this stake. It was like a 6% stake at the time of the company. And
you think he went around to his rich ass family and said, "Here's my thesis." I think
maybe. I mean, who knows? We don't know who this kid is. We don't know who his family is.
somebody's posted. Who
If
his
you're a
dad
billionaire,
was.
like, oh yeah, I'll give my son 25 million.
I mean, their source is also Reddit,
yeah.
the article that's going
Or
around.
he's just the face of the trade. He's the face
is
of
that
the
what
trade.
you think, Anand? Do you think someone had a play here and they used the 20-year-old as the front?
As a pawn.
It's possible. I think this meme stock, like, this is something, honestly, regulators need to figure out.
Ryan Cohen.
This is insanity.
Ryan Cohen, which you talked about in the last episode, he's the Chewy guy. He was involved with AMC. He's just like, he's the meme guy. And he's the one that kind of pumped this trade up, bought the call options. Yesterday, on Tuesday, announced he dumped everything. So the stock dips. And today in the market, the stock dip again. After
Isn't that
hours,
not
it's
stock
complete.
manipulation.
No, so it's actually interesting because Seeking Alpha, which is a big finance blog, said he has filed to sell his whole stake in Bed Bath & Beyond. Everyone thought they were getting rug pulled. Rug pulled means basically you're the one holding the bag and you lose all your money. And apparently he never sold a share.
Wow.
So he hasn't sold anything. The biggest thing is, you know who the biggest buyer of Bed Bath & Beyond was the last quarter?
Citadel?
Citadel.
Yeah.
And Citadel's up on this position like 60, 70%.
Yeah.
I'd
I
love
think
to
they
know
dumped
who's
it.
at a desk
And I
at
think-
Citadel. That
How is the
their job
regulators
is
not...
to-
Citadel's like still doing meme stocks. Those guys are savages.
Yeah, they
never
must
lose.
have like who's their guy? They must have like a 20-year-old in that office whose job it is.
They
is
get
to
the order
peruse
flow, so
Reddit.
they see it.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
know.
It's like such cheating. They see that kids are back in meme stocks,
That's
so they
true.
just
How-
front run them.
Yeah.
How is this legal?
I don't even
How's
think
it-
this is kids. This is just all the funds are in on it. Look, now the stock after hours is at $12. It's gone down from it was $30 earlier in the week. It's $12 now.
You're right. It's not retail. These are just hedge funds fucking with each other.
Yeah, there's
Who's this
three.
fucking USD
I think they're all
kid?
making money. I think they all went long on it, dumped it while they had put options, shortened the shit out of the thing out of it too. They're making money on the way up. They're making money on the way down.
Bed Bath & Beyond was down 20% in current hour trading and then down another 33% in after hours.
And everyone made a killing.
I mean, the volume is nuts.
You know-
125 million shares were traded.
Tuesday was 370 million shares.
It's crazy.
That's not retail.
What are regulators doing?
Yeah, there's
Well,
some
we
real
hired. We have $80 trillion to the IRS.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah, we have 80,000 new
Some
IRS
of them
employees.
go check
You
it
should
out.
have 80,000 new SEC employees. That's what you should have. That's where all the money is.
The
With-
SEC really should be hiring like former hedge fund traders, paying them $5 million a year to clean all this shit up.
yeah.
You're not going to get someone who you pay $100,000 a year to understand what Citadel, Melvin Capital, what everyone's doing. They
Yeah.
don't understand it. This is like a solvable problem if you hire
Why doesn't that
competent
happen?
people.
No, or
Who's
just
the
should just
SEC
be.
report? Is
They're-
someone? Are they independent?
Okay.
I think that's the biggest problem with the U.S. government. We don't pay enough to get competent people to take these jobs.
Yeah, I mean,
so we just have fuckery in every
well,
industry.
the problem is
Because when it
Pharmaceutical-
Yeah.
SEC is essentially against the smartest, richest people in the world, which
Yeah.
are in finance. So
It's the equivalent of like the Golden State Warriors playing a high school team.
no, it's like
feels
they're
fake.
playing an elementary school team. Okay, Steph Curry hops on the court with
Yeah,
a bunch of 4-year-olds and smashes the ball out of their hand and dunks on them. That's
But to
that's what these
honestly,
guys.
couldn't you just get like a snitch? Get like somebody who you're going to charge with some crazy crime. Let
no,
them
but
off.
it's just daily, dude. They'll come up with something new.
Yeah, like do you know why the little guy always gets screwed? Is because Citadel is your counterparty, and no one knows what they're doing.
It's just
Yeah.
the way it is. Yeah, it's just the way it is. You just got to get that. You got to try to get a job at Citadel. That's
Yeah.
Good luck.
I mean, that's just the way.
I don't think it's that easy. Let me tell you, you want a quiet quit there. That guy probably takes wad of cash and smacks you in the face.
Oh my
yeah.
god!
Yeah. Holy fuck.
I mean, those types of firms pay tens and tens of millions of dollars because you're held to performance.
Yeah. I mean, if people knew what like probably the Joe Schmo at Citadel makes,
There's no one making under 7 figures that's in the investment side of the business.
Nobody.
No one. Most are probably making mid 7 figures, and a lot are making 8 figures.
yeah. And there's a good chunk making 9.
Yes, there's also
And maybe a few guys making 10.
Trading Bed Bath and Beyond.
one guy's definitely making 10 figures.
Yeah, we know
Well,
one
yeah,
guy
we
is
know
definitely
that.
making 10.
Yeah.
But just people don't realize like that what it takes to be this. I mean, these guys are liquid too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's smart hedge fund people that can't tell you what Citadel's strategy are. It's all in the shadows, and we have no way of like regulating it.
Yeah.
But this 20-year-old kid figured it out.
20-year-old. Yeah, he figured it out.
Yeah, good for him.
Was it ginger too?
I want to know what he figured out. I want to know. There's something in this story.
But I mean, that is the solution across all governing boards. If we just paid really high salaries, you'd get competent people.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but instead what we do is like pay, like instead you hire like 80,000
8,000.
new IRS agents who are like all probably shitty.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like it's just like instead you just fucking like, I don't know, man. I'm
Just
just
go
gonna-
hire 80,000
I mean,
people.
do
make
you
it-
really think if you all 80,000 IRS agents, you know who they're going against? Billionaires. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like
That's what
they're
know.
not going to figure out.
That's why a lot of economists have come out and said like this disproportionately is going to hurt upper middle class people and lower
100%.
income
Yeah,
people,
yeah.
right?
Because they don't even understand what billionaires are doing to avoid taxes.
Nobody can.
Yeah.
It's
No,
not the
they're-
money's not even in
yeah.
the country.
They're getting like the person using Venmo and not fucking.
You know, there's like
reporting it.
tax retreats in the Bahamas that teach you all the loopholes. This is what rich people do. They go to these retreats and they come back and they're like,
I'm relaxed, I'm tan,
one who
and
told me
I'm
about
not
that?
going to pay any taxes.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, imagine the feeling coming back from that trip.
like, why isn't someone from the SEC like posing as a rich guy and going to this tax retreat?
Yeah. Because they don't give a fuck. They don't care. They're up against. There's no way they're gonna go for the guy or girl collecting Venmo for like they do people's hair on the weekends, and they're gonna get hit with a tax bill.
Yeah, I mean, I've told this story before, but it was a long time ago. I had a friend who worked at Oscar Insurance, and Oscar Insurance is another like health insurance business like Blue Shield, Anthem, but with some technology. They had to deal with like Congress on legislation, like trying to get things to whatever in their favor. And someone who worked for like a pretty senior congressperson, the staff's like, we kind of just take our lead from the pharmaceutical companies. Like that's who Congress is listening to. What I'm saying, we don't pay enough people. Like, you really think that's a smart idea to go ask Pfizer how we should legislate healthcare?
I mean, that's why all of Congress is fucking insider trading anyway. Like, if they're not paid enough, they're just doing what the billionaires are doing. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. What about real quick? We have this article about how we've talked a lot about how crypto's gotten creamed, and one thing that we've seen change visibly in front of our eyes is that really into like I would say. Probably correct me if I'm wrong, but the Super Bowl and then right after, there's starting to be all these commercials of really big celebrities for crypto.com and for Coinbase and all this stuff. There was Matt Damon, Tom Brady, all these different people really being ambassadors for these platforms. That seems to have kind of went away. And is that just because, it's time to tighten down the budget a little bit, and that was more the sign of old times and let's tighten up, or what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think all of America, corporate America, is cutting spending. Yeah. And the easiest are advertising, corporate events, corporate travel.
Check to Tom Brady.
Yeah, like you might be stuck paying Tom Brady, but you don't have to run the commercial.
Yeah.
And
last year, if things kept going how they were going, Tom Brady, renews his crypto.com agreement.
And I think that's really the first inclination, but it's pretty staggering the amount of money that these people were spending. I forgot the exact dollar amount.
Here we go. Spending on crypto TV ads in February was $84.5 million. So a lot of that's obviously Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, yeah.
Spending on crypto TV ads in July, drama guess. So $84 million in February, July of this year.
10 million.
$36,000.
What? One Bitcoin.
you get 1.5 Bitcoin.
What? Wow, I was not expecting that big of a cut.
It's.
What are the odds Crypto.com arena goes back to Staples?
I mean, maybe not Staples. Maybe someone.
Yeah, maybe not Staples, but sure, another.
I mean, they could. I wonder if they're allowed to resell their naming rights.
Yeah, Bed Bath and Beyond. Arena.
If they can't meet their obligations, they're gonna have to, right?
Yeah. I mean, SoFi's having that same problem right now, right? Like, where it's unclear. Can they? It's not a good use of the company's cash, right?
Absolutely not. I mean, they're struggling for survival.
Timing. That was tough timing because really, when that sign actually got replaced from Staples to crypto, it was like the final month.
Yeah, final month.
Like it was literally right at the tail end. Okay, well, that's wild. I mean, I wonder how because we've talked about advertising in general getting hurt. Guys, in tough times like these, it's really easy to tell who is doing well. And that is going by who's still advertising. Let's talk about Ledger.
Hey! We're not worried about you exchanges that don't have the bread.
Ledger's coming for those pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah, what if Ledger just takes over? They're dictating every television commercial.
I hope so. That's good for us.
That'd be great. That'd be great for us.
Yeah.
And because here's the thing, it's why like specifically in software people talk about like e-commerce enablement or picks and shovels is because it's so difficult to be like the brand and maybe the retailer, but if you're just enabling the process, you're in such a better place. And that's kind of where Ledger is living today because of the important role they play in protection in a very kind of volatile industry. Yeah. So go cop yourself a Nano X. a
There you
Nano
go.
S Plus, and now they got hot colors like BTC orange. I was trying to visualize what BTC orange was, and then it's like it's like a Pepsi blue. That orange
Yep.
sticks out, like people know that color.
Yep.
And cosmic purple on the Nano X.
There you go.
Hot.
It's great.
So head over to shop.ledger.com and cop yourself a Nano
There you
in
go.
a hot color.
Yeah. Safety first.
Business is booming. Okay, next up, networks. Like, I wonder what's happening to TV networks, and it has to just be.
Well,
A
no,
little
pharmaceutical is still pumping.
That's
They're
true.
not worried.
Pfizer's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, if Coinbase is losing money, I guarantee you crypto.com is bleeding money.
Have you seen the
Everyone
stat?
says FTX is not, according to SBF.
You know my view on FTX. There's chicanery going on there.
He seems like he's a private chicanery there.
It's the reason why he lives in the Bahamas. No one who lives in the Bahamas isn't involved in chicanery if you're in business.
What about the guy that does the tax retreats?
That's clear chicanery.
And maybe he could be an honest guy. He's just teaching people.
Chicanery. Wait, okay, look. In 2020, TV ad spending. So this is 2020. Well, yeah, we're in like, COVID phase. In 2000, yeah, but barely. It's probably been way more. 2020, TV ad spending of the pharmaceutical industry accounted for 75% of the total ad spend.
Wow. I mean, this year, probably 80.
And probably 90. It's probably cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Probably getting
entire
amazing
TV
rates.
industry, television industry is being propped up by pharmaceutical.
I've been saying this for a long time.
That is true. Like, really, TV is just
What
the
if
pharmaceutical
pharmaceutical
industry's
companies-
Instagram page.
We're
That's their
about to,
TikTok.
yeah, if they banned that pharmaceutical television industry would collapse. Go to zero.
Instantly.
Mhm.
Zero.
That's
Because who's going to advertise? Chevy?
that literally
McDonald's?
is that's their Facebook. And when they think
And
about
if
ad
anyone,
spend,
once I read that stat, I just started paying attention to commercials. And the only real broadcast TV I'll watch is ESPN. It is just all pharmaceutical ads.
A lot of foot things, too.
yeah, people
Really?
And a lot of people are uncomfortable with their feet.
yeah, a lot of jock itch and foot stuff. A lot of
A lot
itching.
of foot stuff. A lot of itchy. People have
We
dry
have an
skin.
we have an itchy country. Oh my god.
So here's what's actually crazy. In the Western world, only 2 countries allow the promotion of prescription drugs: the United States and New Zealand. And New Zealand has very strict restrictions. So the United States is pretty much the only country in the world that allows pharmaceutical advertising of prescription drugs. And it's the whole fucking industry of
Yeah.
TV ad spend.
Yeah.
Like, what is our country actually? Our country is actually, I feel like, drugs,
And
guns,
oil.
Guns and
Drugs,
oil.
guns, and oil.
And
Everything
tech?
else is tech. Yeah.
If you had to say what really moves the needle in our country, isn't it tech,
iPhones.
Yeah, big
weapons?
tech. You have, Microsoft's a $2 trillion company. Apple's a $2 trillion company. Google's a north of $1 trillion.
And pharmaceuticals are probably 50 trillion.
Yeah, we're just fucking guns and drugs, man. Guns, drugs,
Guns
and
and
iPhones
drugs.
out here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome to America. Okay.
And we have inflated drug prices for a reason, because they got to pay for TV.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you if you look at the web at why drug costs are high and how many people are complicit in it, that you can never lower drug prices in America because too many.
Yeah, too many mouths are getting fed.
Yeah.
All of Congress is on the take from pharmaceutical companies.
Everyone who runs a television studio is on the take.
I still need someone from upfronts. Is it just pharmaceutical companies? Like, I like that new CBS show. Let's take our drugs to this.
I mean, if I was at Pfizer, I would
Why
literally
would
be
you
like,
want
I
out?
need to dictate the show. I'm programming.
you should
Literally,
be
like,
able.
oh, so and so has an itch. Let me
Like
tie
the
that into
CEO
the
of
script.
Pfizer could be like, "Hey, my daughter really wants to be an actress. Put her in the next Game of Thrones."
And by the way, my
And-
son loves football. He's hosting Sunday Night Football.
And give him jock itch
Mike
on the
Tirico,
script.
hit the road.
There you go. I want her to get
Meet
vaccinated
Johnny,
on
the
episode
14-year-old who loves football. Hi, guys. Go Rams!
3. Oh, shit.
How is this not talked about anywhere?
You can't. Shut up.
Yeah, you can't. We just...
Everyone's
All of
on
them.
the...
Yeah.
You just got to be part... Why don't we have any pharmaceutical advertisers?
Yeah, We'll change our tune real quick.
Yeah. Are you depressed? Bloated? Migraine?
Yeah, we're fucking high on depression meds right now recording this pod.
We'll get you hooked
Click
on.
the link in bio.
You were having a bad day? Let me tell you something. I got 2 little pills for you.
Oh, shit. This is wild. Okay. Okay, we ready for the finale here?
Yes.
Winners, losers, and content. D, who is the biggest winner other than the pharmaceutical companies?
They always win.
Yeah, that's not news. Who's your biggest winner for the last week?
My winner is LeBron James. He signed a 2-year extension with the LA Lakers, making him the all-time highest paid NBA player. In his career, LeBron James will make at least in guaranteed money of $528 million.
Love the king. Good for him. He's
Kid
probably
from Akron.
underpaid. Think about like he's propped up the NBA for 12, 13 years.
I agree.
It's
He probably-
the big challenge is I saw like LA Times and a lot of the local reporters are like frustrated by it because like it's safe to say the Lakers are not going to be good.
No, they after this year we have a
pick?
max spot,
Okay.
so we could spend the money
Yeah.
But if
and
you're
get
a
like a real
business,
store.
I mean, like who's putting butts in seats and selling merch? Like
It's
the
2
king?
guys. It's LeBron James and Stephen Curry.
Yeah, like
They
what the
are
fuck?
the
Of course you're gonna
NBA
pay
from
this
like a
bill.
global perspective.
Yeah, you want a bad business decision? Don't pay LeBron.
No.
So
I mean,
and no one shows up.
Yeah,
Reporters.
writers like. Do you know how many sports jobs LeBron has created?
yeah.
From
Yeah.
podcasters to writers to bloggers to
Just to keep people entertained. Yeah.
That's just their job to be upset. I mean, this guy probably should have been paid $3 billion guaranteed.
yes.
For
over his
as
career.
NBA salary, he was definitely underpaid,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He should be making like 90% of the salary cap.
especially in that 10-year run.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, yeah.
Okay, well, the good thing
All
is
right.
he's going to play for 10 more years, so he'll
Yeah, so
eventually
you
make
can
it.
still milk it. Yeah.
Anand?
My winner's Draymond Green. He got married over the weekend and it went viral on TikTok. The clips looked like a hot wedding. He had the baby, Roddy Rich.
Yeah.
LeBron was there. Obviously, Steph. Looked like a blast. Good for him.
Thanks. I didn't see
Good
it.
for him. I'll be quick because we mentioned it. I'm going to go ahead and I hate to do it. I'm going to give it to the Live Tour. They forced a PGA all-player meeting. Tiger
Wow.
showed up. Like it's officially gotten to the point where it's not just like, oh, we're mad and we're going to throw little jabs during our live broadcast.
Wow.
It's officially shaken up the PGA Tour. So, I mean, look, morally, sure, whatever. I'm not commenting. I'm saying as far as coming in and shaking up the age-old status quo, they've done it. And Anand's joining.
Mm-hmm.
That's impressive. It really is impressive.
D, who's your loser?
You know, I thought it was gonna kind of mellow out, but I'm seeing a lot of crazy crime videos again in LA. Like it felt like
we're still hot. No, it's just
like-
become kind of old. We just got used to it, I think.
Yeah, and it's in like very prime locations in the Valley and Beverly Hills and LA. It's just it's kind of spread to different pockets. I think at the grocery store, where in Beverly Hills was it yesterday? Was it at Bristol Farms or at Gelson's, where the guy went to like the expensive liquor section and just started taking like 1942 and Dom Perignon?
And then yesterday, I think there was in broad daylight a home invasion right here on 5th Street in the Fairfax district.
Nice.
Crime's
Yeah.
hot.
The crime's hot. I literally think it's just gotten old, which is even scarier. It's just like normal now.
Yeah,
Because I don't think it's
that's
dropped at all.
wild.
Well,
Didn't they just try to recall Gascon and it failed? Or am I?
Yeah,
that
failed.
How is
The guy's Teflon Don. You can't get rid of him.
they like got rid of 30% of the signatures.
Jesus.
I'm not saying I know how the process works of what's a valid signature or not. 30% seems high.
Yeah,
Seems
there,
high.
there could have been 30% fake.
Yeah. Okay. Anand? No.
My
Anand? Wow,
loser, just to reiterate, the quiet quitters, and it's great advice if you're young entering the workforce. If you work hard, I don't think it's ever been easier to advance in your career.
That is true. Because I would also warn those people, it will, in my opinion, it will become cool to work hard again. So take advantage of this window while you got it.
Yep.
Because I think things will kind of swing. You know what I mean? Propinquity.
Yeah.
Look it up.
It always swings. It always swings.
My loser, I mean, I guess I'll give my loser to Trump. It's an easy one this time, but the guy's got a raid going on. He's got his CFO just pled guilty to like 15 counts of tax fraud. Got a lesser sentence in exchange for agreeing to testify against Trump. It's just, I mean, shit is wild. I can't imagine what like, the daily update for Trump looks like, but
It's wild. Like,
It's funny is like he's probably not stressed out, but his lawyers probably are like on fumes trying to like survive.
Yeah, losing their mind, I'm sure. And the other guy, Michael Cohen, is like, he's becoming really popular on TikTok because every day he gives updates about like Trump and how fucked he is.
That guy's so good at media.
He's really good at media, and he's really like engaging to watch. And I don't know, but I'm sure it'll all just bounce right off the guy. But it just seems fucking wild. Everyone is trying to get this guy. So stressful week for Trump. Content recommendations, D?
My content is going to be meeting everyone today at our little event.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. Talk about propinquity.
Yeah, come get propinquity.
Yeah, I know
whatever.
This will air right after the event starts, but huge response from like so many people.
Is it like
So,
secret? Like you got to, like you're not saying where it's at here?
Now I can. It's at the Victorian in Santa Monica.
Oh yeah, because it's already over.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, what I didn't want it to become was like too many randoms that are not part of like our community.
Yeah.
And so that's why I made it so you had to text and make it feel like it was something special for our people.
Yeah, that's great.
But yeah, I mean, a few hundred people had already RSVP'd as of yesterday. So we should have a big turnout.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay. Anand?
My content, I talked about it last week that I was going to go see the Pete Davidson movie. I did. It's good. It's worth seeing. I
Are
liked
him
it.
and Kim back together yet?
I don't know. The movie's called Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. It's fun.
Van Jones is still the favorite.
Is
His
that?
ex-boyfriend.
I was thinking like Kid Leroy.
No, she's not dating that little dweeb.
I don't know. I mean,
little
you got to
dweeb.
stay relevant.
No, you got to go with the choices that they're on. Even that the betting, they're just like stupid.
Yeah. After Pete Davidson, I just realized I have no idea.
It's
Anything's
like
possible.
it could be anybody.
Yeah.
Gerard
literally-
Butler.
I think she's back with Pete. I think this is all a marketing tactic.
Okay.
Okay. My content, we have a big weekend of fights. There's a UFC fight. Kamaru Usman, who's a champion, is fighting. And in the world
You're
of
catching some of
boxing-
your third graders fighting in your little
Yeah, I'm going to go beat up some third graders on Saturday if you want to come by and check
elementary
that out.
gym.
Where I punish third graders for bad behavior. And then Anthony Joshua in the boxing world. So big weekend of fighting.
It's the UFC's in Salt Lake, right?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yep. A lot of fights.
Luke Rockhold's fighting Tarek's guy.
Oh, nice.
Tarek's
Yep.
there. He's on
He is.
posting.
Okay.
So there you have it. That's all we got.
That's
We'll
it.
see you tonight, or I guess good to see you tonight.
Yeah.
Thanks to everyone who came out. Everyone have a great weekend.
Yep.
Bye-bye.